I'm in my office right now, sitting on the floor because I really needed space to kind of spread things out as I organize and get my entire life together. And there are a few things that I learned that I picked up in this process that I've been going on. And the process is not done. It is not over yet. It will continue, and I'll try to document it as much as I can so that hopefully my process can hopefully help and inform your process. But the thing of it is, summertime is the worst time of year for me in terms of craziness and busyness because this schedule changes every single week. The kids are in camps. My daughter is in gymnastics. My son is doing VO. Like, all the things are happening and going on. And the schedule is not as consistent as it is during the school year, which means there's a lot of ripping, there's a lot of running, there's a lot of not getting a lot of things done, if you know what I'm saying. So what I decided to do was to reorganize my planner. Yes, I am a pen and paper planner kind of girl because I think better when I write. That's just how I'm built. Yes, I know there are plenty of digital planners that you can use, but pen and paper planner work for me. I was using previously a system that I actually came up with, and what I would do is I would just print out the planner sheets that I created, and I would send them to the printer, and I would have them print them to the exact size that I need. I used the Happy Planner Classic, and that worked for me. It's been working for me for a few years, and I would literally go every year and be like, okay, print me out 12 copies of my monthly calendar planner, and I would do the whole punch, put it in my planner, and that's what I would do. That is not working for me right now because my schedule just feels like it's all over the place. So I have been binge watching The Organized Money. Hi, Elena, if you're watching. I absolutely love her content. She has her own system that is The Organized Money. She did not ask me. She doesn't even know me, okay? So she did not ask me to say this about her, but I absolutely love and adore her content, and I love and adore what she's doing. I am planning on ordering some of her stuff, but at this moment, I need things to get done right now. So I'm trying to work with what I currently have in order to recreate some of the systems that she has talked about in her planner, not only in her actual line of planner products that she sells on Etsy, but also in planner content and planner pieces and planner components that she's used in the past. So let me show you what I'm doing. But the first thing is to categorize your life. And this sounds like a lot, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. So think about all the different things that you do in your life, whether it is your family, your kids, your work, your spouse or your partner, your household, if you're caring for your parents or if you're caring for someone else. What are those major categories? Your self-care category, which is important as well. Think about all those categories and write them down. I have written mine down. Of course, this is all chicken scratch, but write them down and then also write down what's included in that. So what I mean by that, for example, when I list my work category has 3 subcategories: client projects, my leadership content, and my business development. So those are the 3 categories that are within work. Why is that important? Because as I'm going through and planning, what I want to do is all the things on my massive to-do list that have to do with one of those 3 categories, I want to categorize and put them in that segment of my planner so that I can kind of keep things organized and have a running list of what I need to do for work. Another category for me is that I'm starting a PhD program in the fall. So I have one section of my planner that is devoted to everything associated with that. At this point, because I haven't started, I'm not exactly sure. I know it's going to be a huge lift, but what I'm planning for right now are registration, paying that tuition. Those are the things I need to deal with right now. Of course, once the semester begins, there'll be individual things that I need to do for each class and so on and so forth. So I will expand it and revise it as needed. But for right now, in my PhD bucket, that is just one category of my life that I'm dealing with. Certainly there's a family category. I'm not sure how I want to categorize this, okay? So do I want to put family as a category and then kids as a separate category, or do I want the category to be both family and kids? Let me explain why. So within family, I have things like family vacation, which we try to take one every summer. And the rest kind of just rolls into a whole bunch of other stuff. For the kids, however, I have each of my kids' individual sports. I have each of my kids' individual music instruments. And then I have each of my kids' schools, because one's in middle school, different in high school, 2 different schools. So because family could also encompass my extended family as well. So maybe, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, but comment down below if you have some ideas of how I need to categorize those 2. Maybe it's just one big bucket called family that includes things like family vacation and then also things individual for each individual kid, or maybe I need to break them out. I don't know. You tell me what you think. There, of course, is a category for the household. So things like my, groceries that I need to gather as I'm sort of going through the week and thinking about my grocery list. Big projects going on around the house. So if there's something I need to do in the yard, or if there's something, perfect example, last summer we had to have the roof replaced. So that would be obviously a very big project that needs to be managed and dealt with, that goes into that category. Things like chores. So I have just started my kids on a new chore schedule. And so making sure to keep track of what those chores look like, and also keeping track of how much they get paid, what are the rules behind chores, what happens if they miss a day, because I don't want to forget the rules. It's just to make sure that it's fair. The other two categories are my faith category. So, sermon notes as I'm in church, and then also, as I go through Bible study over the course of a week, or, a special verse that means a lot to me, or things that I want to write down, things like that. And then there's self-care. Self-care is probably going to include, workouts mostly. And also, this is why I need to plan it, because if you don't plan it, it doesn't exist in a lot of cases, or at least for me. So self-care is, for me, I think is going to include, I'm still formulating this, I think is going to include workouts. It's also going to include reading, so different books that I'm reading. This is a tough one. So I do enjoy gardening. I wonder if gardening should go under self-care, or if it should go under household, because gardening actually is meant to benefit the household and the beauty of the house externally, but also it feeds my spirit, because I enjoy gardening as a hobby. So I need to decide, is that a self-care thing or is that a household thing? Maybe it's a little bit of both. How do I actually, parse that out? That is what I'm kind of dealing with. So comment below if you have some ideas on this, though, because I'm curious to think, are there any categories that I'm leaving out or I'm missing? I mean, obviously we all have different lives and life structures and family structures. So your categories are certainly not going to be the same as mine. But what else could I be including in this? I mean, I don't have a bucket for friends. Do I need a bucket for friends? I don't know. Definitely there's a bucket for, my husband and I manage our budget and our finances in an entirely different system that is working for us. So I've specifically chosen to not put it in my planner. So that is definitely a category that you might consider for your planner, but I will not be considering it for my planner, because we already have something set up for that. So yeah, I don't know. But that's the most important thing that I have found to start this process. And so when I look at the floor, when I look at all the things that are on my floor, which I will show you in a moment, I just basically have things. It's a mess. Oh, let me show you. So I'm literally sort of going through everything and trying to map out what I have and kind of putting things in different spaces. This is my actual planner that I currently use. I've taken a lot of the sections out and moved some things around. It's kind of bare bones empty out right now, because I'm taking things out and putting them into the categories that I want them to be in. So for example, I will have a section that's just for like my daily planning. And this will have, sort of like an overview for the month. It'll have, as you see, I've kind of created these sheets out of this grid paper where I have from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and being able to sort of write down my schedule for the day. I found this to be really helpful for me. So the night before, so for example, this one's showing for Friday the 19th, which is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. What happens is on Thursday evening, before I go to bed, I will pull out the sheet for Friday and write down all the things that I know that I need to have done for Friday. So today is kind of bare, which is great for me because I really want to spend this time kind of working out my planner. So, and also on tonight, I will go through and kind of write out the same sheet for all day Saturday. This is a start for what will be the section called my faith planner. So these happen to be some sermon notes. These are really old notes from 2022, but I like to take my planner with me to church and just sort of write notes as they come up as I'm going through. But I also want to include a section with just blank pages that I can take individual notes for anything that I'm reading that's faith related. This section is going to be for graduate school. So obviously it's very blank because I haven't really started graduate school. But I think what I'm going to do here is for each day, list the time and the topic for my individual courses that I'm taking, and just any sort of notes and kind of homework, if you will, that I need to do on these pages. And I think that's kind of all. That's as far as I've gotten at this point. I do have these sheets here. These are undated. I think it's called a vertical planner kind of setup. Vertical planner setup. And I think what I'm going to do for this one is to use this to be, to-do list. So here's the thing. as I'm going through my day, sometimes I have things to do, but I don't have time to like fidget through all the stuff to figure out where it goes. So this would essentially be a catch-all where if it's Friday, for example, and I'm in the middle of something and I need to quickly write down or jot down a to-do list item, I could write it down in the section here and then go back in the evenings as I'm planning for the next day and properly put that to-do list item in the right planner section, if that makes sense. So I think that's how I'm going to use these pages. And interestingly enough, all of these planner sheets that I have and all this stuff that I'm not sponsored by Happy Planner, although Happy Planner, if you want to sponsor me, hit a girl up. These are all sheets and things that I've purchased over the years. When I first started doing this kind of larger planning process, I purchased all this stuff over time. And what I'm trying to do is use the stuff that I have, because if you're like me, when you start a new project, you end up buying all the things associated with that project, if you need them or not. So instead of running out to the store, which is my inclination, instead of running out to the store and buying a whole bunch of stuff to fit and support what this new planner system looks like, what I am instead doing is trying to be responsible and using the stuff I already got to meet my needs. And if there is a gap where I see, I really need a planner. Oh, perfect example. I want to do a monthly, what's called a monthly spread. And that basically is where you can just sort of open up one page and see the entire month at a glance. Here's an example. This is basically for the month of June, and I've been able to sort of write down at a large, just at a glance to see the entire month of June and all the things that are going on. And I really want to have some more of these sheets for myself, but the thing is, I don't have, I don't own these sheets. I actually had to create these sheets out of this sheet. So what I did is I just sort of measured, it happens to be 3 inches exactly. So I measured at 1.5 inches and drew in a line. So that way I could actually create this into a monthly spread. I think I just answered the question. I don't need to go out and buy a monthly spread. I can just create them. That's perfect because this looks just fine. And then I can just sort of write in all of my individual dates here. Yeah, problem solved. The problem is solved. We saw the problem and everything's awesome, problem solved. So that way I can have a sense of what's going on for the entire month at one glance. And I think that's what I need. So anyway, this is a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. But it's going to be all right. So it's going to be all right. The next phase of this, which I will show you at some point, is kind of how all this fits together. And what my plan is that I will create dividers. I actually purchased, I didn't need to run out and buy this, but alas, I went out and bought this. So I bought some specialty paper from Hobby Lobby, and I have this in several colors. I have white, I have pink, I have blue, I have green, I have black, and I'm going to create dividers, and those dividers are going to separate, my schedule from my faith, from my PhD program, from my, all these different areas. The family will have a divider and so on. And that is how I will put all these things into this one planner book. That is the plan for the planner. I will show it to you, I promise. If you'll be so kind, I would love for you to consider subscribing to this channel so as I grow, I can continue to keep you abreast of what is happening and what is going on in this space. If there's anything I can do to help and support, leave it in the comments down below and let me know if there's specific content that you'd like to see out of me or what kind of questions you have about the content that I've just given you. I hope all is well with you. All the best to you in your planning journey, and we'll continue to be abreast of my planning journey. All right, take care, be well. Bye.